Hi everybody, and welcome to my cooking video for today. Today I promised you that we would make chicken salad, but I'm actually going to be making two different kinds of salads today for sandwiches. Both of these sandwiches are sandwiches that I use when I do tea parties along with an egg salad. We're going to be making a chicken salad today and cucumber dill sandwiches, both of which I use for tea parties. And this chicken salad is just great to use anytime, not just for tea parties, but if you just want a light, healthy sandwich or salad, this is great for that, the chicken salad. I'm Debbie Reynolds with Rocky Mountain Lodge, and you can find the chicken salad recipe in my cookbook, Rocky Mountain Lodge and Cabin's More Favorite Recipes, which you can find on my website at rockymountainlodge.com. And you can also find it on my website. I think I just said that, rockymountainlodge.com. You can go there and go to the recipes tab and find this recipe there. And you can also purchase it at the gift shop, the cookbook, which has 500 recipes in it. So much variety in there, from appetizers to entrees to breakfast foods, desserts, you name it, you'll find it in there. All right, so today we're going to start with our chicken salad. This salad is really variable. You can do lots of different things. I'm going to start with, I have a visitor.
Can I make an espresso?
Not till I'm done.
Okay.
Too noisy. He has to wait. He's working, so he needs caffeine. Working from home, as we all are during quarantine, right? So this chicken salad, we're going to start with 13 ounces, about 3 cups of shredded chicken breast, which I have here. You can either just shred chicken breast. I actually just went to the store yesterday and bought one of those roasted rotisserie chickens. And there's so much you can do with those. We actually had that last night for dinner in a Caesar salad. And some of their leftovers, I just shredded it up. I've got 3 cups of shredded chicken here. You can also buy these cans of just chicken breast in the can all ready to go, and all you have to do is just shred it up a little bit with the fork. It just comes in big old chunks. Just drain it and you can use this. I like to keep some of these on hand when I want chicken salad and I don't have roasted chicken. All right, so we're just going to start with that chicken. It's about 3 cups of chicken, 13 ounces, give or take. This recipe does not have to be exact. You can just kind of do your own thing with it. The next thing I'm going to put in here is I am going to take an apple and chop up my apple. I've already got this apple washed. You can use any kind of apple. This is a Gala apple. You can use Granny Smith, whatever you like or whatever you have on hand. And I'm just going to use half of an apple. The other apple I'm just going to eat with my salad. There's a couple different ways that you can cut up your apples. You can just use one of these apple cores, which are great for making it nice and quick. If I just want to eat an apple, I'll just chop it up with, I'll just slice it up with this, and then I'll just dip it in some almond butter or peanut butter, and I've got a great snack. Otherwise, I just like to cut this in half. Since I only need a half, I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it in quarters, and then I'm just going to chop out the middle there and get rid of that. Same here, chop out that middle. And then I'm just going to slice it up into small slices. And then cut those slices in half and just dice it up nice and small. I may not have the best knife skills. I've been known to cut myself a time or two, or maybe even more. But I've learned a few little things about trying not to cut myself. So I'm just going to dice up this apple and add this to that. You can also substitute the apple for grapes or any other type of fruit that you might want to put in there, or nothing at all. It's really flexible. Just put in here whatever you happen to like. So I'm just chopping up this apple. I talked about cutting myself. One of the things I did learn about knife skills from watching cooking shows is to curl your hand like a little claw, so that when you're chopping, you can't chop your fingers. All right, and so now I'm just going to add this apple, half of an apple, into my chicken. And you can add more if you like. You can change it up and do grapes, anything you might like. And then I am going to add some shredded cheese. This is Colby Jack cheese. You can use any kind of cheese that you might like. Cheddar is great. Anything that you can shred. And I say in my recipe about 1/2 cup of cheese. I just tend to grab a big old handful and add it in. It's about 1/2 cup. You don't have to be precise with this. Just do it to what you like. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. This is some kosher salt, coarse kosher salt. I don't like to add a lot of salt because there's already salt in this cheese. So I just add a pinch of salt. Just do it to your own taste. You can try it after you get it all mixed. And I'm going to mix these up right now. And actually, one other thing I'm going to put in here first is I'm going to put in some walnuts. Now, if you don't like nuts or if you're allergic to nuts, just skip this part. There's a couple different ways to chop your nuts. You can just use a knife and go along and chop them. This is my favorite way to chop nuts. It's this little chopper. And so all I do is stick this on here and just give it a few whacks. And my nuts are chopped. And so you can use it to chop them as small or as big as you want. And so there are my nuts, just a few little whacks. You can see that they're pretty coarsely chopped. And that's how I like it. I say about half a cup for this recipe, but really, I don't even measure this stuff. I just kind of throw in there and do as much as I like. All right, so now I'm going to mix all of this up. And you can see how it just all gets mixed up there. And then I'm going to add some mayo. My mom always used to use Miracle Whip when I was growing up, but I'm not a fan of Miracle Whip now that I'm older. It's just too sweet for me. And so I also mentioned about 1/2 cup of mayonnaise in here. Just add as much as you like to get it the consistency that you like, as wet as you like. You can also use plain non-fat Greek yogurt if you want it to be a little bit healthier. And you'll never know the difference when you're eating it. All right, so I'm just gonna see if I've got this as wet as I like it to be. Let's see here. You can see what we've got going on there. I think I want it just a little bit wetter, so I'm gonna grab a clean spoon and get a little bit more mayo. Just depends on how wet you want it and how much chicken you have. Sometimes the canned chickens are a little moister because they've been in water, so you won't need as much mayo in the canned chickens as you will in the fresh chickens. Those tend to take a little bit more. All right, so I've got this just the consistency I want. And so, actually I have a little bit of skin in here from my chicken since I did a roasted chicken. All right, and so you can see that's what it looks like. Pretty nice and easy. It didn't take us very long to make that. That only took us about 6 minutes to make that. And there's a couple of different ways that we can serve this. We can serve this just on some lettuce. And I'm going to show you a couple of different tips too about keeping your lettuce fresh and also about keeping your bread fresh when you make sandwiches. So I have a couple of pieces of romaine lettuce, and all I do is just have a little bit of a wet paper towel. It's just barely damp. I run it under cold water, squeeze it out, and then open it all up. And I'll put my extra heads of lettuce in here, or lettuce wraps, and it'll keep them a little fresher in the fridge. I'll put this then in like a little produce bag and keep that in there. So you can serve this chicken salad on the lettuce like this. Just a couple of plops on each one of those. And that'll make a nice and healthy chicken salad. Or you can make it a little bit more decadent and take a croissant, which I've cut in half. And they make these little small ones too that you can get, which I really like. And so I'm just going to put some of this chicken salad on this croissant. Just like this, and spread it on there. And now you've got a great chicken salad croissant sandwich. You can cut it in half so it'll be a really pretty presentation. I cut these in thirds sometimes when I'm serving a lot of people. I'll pack these up for picnic lunches on the go. And then I'll cut up that extra apple and serve that with it. And there's a great lunch for you or a snack. And the other thing that I do is you can take these sandwiches and put them in a container and cover them with that wet paper towel that I was telling you about. And they will stay nice and soft. Your bread won't get all dried out. And so when I host tea parties, I'll actually make my sandwiches a day ahead of time, cut them all up, put them in my container, put this wet paper towel on there, close up the container, and they'll stay nice and soft for the next day. All right, so that's nice and easy. And now I promised you another sandwich that I like to serve for tea parties. It's the one sandwich that's the most common and most popular or most traditional for tea parties, and that's cucumber sandwiches. And I actually have my cucumbers prepped and ready. All I've done was taken a cucumber, I took a potato peeler, and I just sliced the edges, about every other one I sliced, so that'll be nice and pretty. And then I set them on a paper towel so it can absorb the extra liquid. I also sprinkled them with a little bit of kosher salt first, and that will pull out that liquid and flavor your cucumbers. And then I'll just dry them off a little bit more when I'm about ready to serve. So there are my cucumbers for my cucumber dill sandwiches, for my tea sandwiches. And for the tea sandwiches, you just take any kind of bread that you like. Traditionally, white bread is the traditional way. This is actually buttermilk bread. I like potato bread. I serve them on whole wheat bread, anything that you might like. But this particular bread is just a buttermilk bread. And so I'll open them up, and I'm going to butter my bread, both sides of the bread. This is Irish Kerrygold butter. Have y'all ever tried that? Such good butter. We live here in the mountains, and I keep my butter, I was just going to say I keep it soft so that it won't tear my bread. And then I just tore my bread because I forgot to take my butter out earlier. Otherwise, it spreads really nice and easy. So I'm just going to butter up these two pieces of bread. And then once I get done buttering these pieces of bread, I'm going to sprinkle some fresh dill on here, which just gives them such good flavor. I'm just in love with dill, with just about anything. I'll actually grow my dill, my own dill, in the summertime outside in pots, and then along with a bunch of other herbs. And then in the winter, I have some sitting benches along my windows in my dining room where I keep all my pots, and I struggle to keep them going all winter long, but that's mostly because I forget to care for them. I'm not one that has a great green thumb, but I try. I just love fresh herbs. So I've got my bread buttered. I tore it a little bit, but no big deal. So then I'm just going to take some dill, fresh dill. You can use dry dill too if you don't have fresh dill. I just like the fresh. And I'm just going to sprinkle that all over the bread, on the buttered bread, on both sides. It's going to give it great flavor. And then I'll show you a tip about how we cut these sandwiches too, to make them all pretty. Traditional tea sandwiches actually don't have crusts, so we're going to cut those crusts off. All right, so I've got my dill on my bread. You can see that. Just sprinkle that dill on there. And then I'm going to take cucumbers, and I'm just going to put them on one side only. Don't worry about getting them close to the edge because we're going to be cutting those edges off. And so I'm going to put about 6 cucumber slices on each one of these sandwiches. And then I'm going to flip that other half over on there. And now we're just going to cut this in half. Where did I put my bread knife? There it is. So now I'm going to cut off the edges. Tea sandwiches don't have crusts unless they're croissants. All right, so we're just going to cut off these 4 edges, and I'll kind of just nibble on those when I'm making them, since I typically make them a day ahead of time. Then I'm going to cut them on an angle. And then we're going to have 4 triangles. And now you have traditional cucumber tea sandwiches. All right. And so there's our sandwiches for today. We have our chicken salad, which you can put in croissants. I'm going to cut this one in half so you can see what it looks like. So there's our chicken salad. You can see how nice and full that is with that chicken. And our cucumber sandwiches. And so there's our sandwiches for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video, share this video, put any comments that you want in the comments tab, and list any recipes you'd like to see me make in the future. And speaking of the future, next week I'm going to be making a great summer dessert. It's been getting hot in a lot of places. We were just in Arizona last week visiting my family, and it was beautiful while we were there. It was only in the 90s, but the day we left it was 108 degrees. So it gets pretty hot in the summertime in a lot of places. And so I'm going to make a great frozen pie for you guys next week. I'm going to make a lemon crunch pie. It's so easy. Everybody will be shocked at how easy. You'll be shocked at how easy it is to make. And everybody will just rave about it. You'll be the hit of the party with that lemon crunch pie. So tune in next Wednesday at 2:00 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll be making lemon crunch pie, a perfect summer dessert. And don't forget to like and share this video, and visit our website at RockyMountainLodge.com, where you can find this recipe and many others, and you can purchase our cookbook, Rocky Mountain Lodge More Favorite Recipes, at our website, RockyMountainLodge.com. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye.